Hey everyone, Justin here from Zanda, and I'm here to give you a quick tutorial on appointments. We have 3 types of appointments you can book in, and I'm going to cover all of them, how you book them in, and what you might end up using them for. So we're not going to waste too much time, we're going to jump straight into it, and I'm going to look to first, I'm going to go to book in a client appointment with Matt Rees here. So one of the ways I can do that is just by clicking and dragging on the calendar itself. So I've picked this time slot here. And what you're going to have pop open on the right hand side is the new appointment panel. So by default, I'm going to be seeing the time that I've selected just over here and the location of where that appointment is taking place. This is all based on default calendar settings. However, you are able to update these if you need to. So if I need to make some adjustments here or here, I can do that. Now, as you can see, we've pre-selected the client appointment, and that's what's always going to be picked first up because it's probably the one you're going to be using the most, and we'll get into some of these other ones later. For now, I am going to go ahead and book in a client. A little tip for you, though, is that you can actually create a new client at the same time you're booking in an appointment. So if you did have a new client on the phone and you're booking in their first appointment, you can actually do it all in one step rather than needing to create the client, then come back and book in the appointment. So it's a handy thing to have. For now, though, I'm just going to go ahead and type in and look for John Smith, and you will see that I'll get this little recommendation here. I'm going to book John Smith in, and down here, I'm going to go ahead and select my service. So when I do that, I'm also going to be raising an invoice at the exact same time. So when I hit save here, you're going to see down the bottom, I already have an invoice in place, which is very, very handy. You don't have to kind of do 2 steps to get that done. And so you can see that that's all loaded in here. And that is how you would book in an appointment for just a single client to see one practitioner. So that's what you can see there. The next type of appointment is probably going to be very useful if you need to block out some time in your calendar for some sort of reason that you just don't need a client's booking in or you don't want them booking in. So you've got personal appointment just over here. That's the next option that we've got. All I need to do is give this a title. So maybe I'm going to the dentist. So I'm just going to drop that in there. If I can spell, that would be even better. But maybe I'm going off to the dentist. You can use this for maybe a team meeting. You can use this for a lunch break. You can use this for any situation where you just don't want clients being booked in. And if we hit save, you can see that that's just loaded in there. And any appointment that is not that is a personal appointment is going to have this little brown bar down the left-hand side. Makes it a little easy to figure out what's going on there. Now, the last type of appointment I'm going to quickly run you through is the group appointment. So if you do need more than one client in a single session, whether that's a group class, whether that's just more people in that single appointment, all I need to do is the exact same steps as before. I click and drag, and then I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to hit the group appointment button. Now, I'm going to get these options through here. It's probably good to give it a name. I'm just going to say group appointment because I'm very imaginative. The next option I've got here is the ability to select a group service. So before, when I booked in a client, I had to select the service when I was booking them in. Obviously with this, you're going to be adding multiple people in and it'll be a little bit of a hassle to add that service over and over again, especially if it's the same service. So what I can do is set a default. We're going to say standard consultation. And what that'll mean is every time I go to add a client to this, it's going to pre-select that service and raise an invoice as well. So it just means it's less for me to do. And then down the bottom here is where we're going to just go ahead and save that one. Once we've created the appointment, you're going to see we have this option here to limit the amount of participants that we actually have in this session. So very good. If it's only meant to be 4 people, I can limit that down so that I make sure that I don't overbook it. But you do have the option to have unlimited participants if you want. I, however, am going to leave it at 4. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to book John Smith in for this one. And now that we've done that, I'm going to hit save. And now that we've got John Smith here, let's just go in and have a quick look at our invoice here. And you can see that that has carried forward because of that default service that we've selected. Now, it's also possible to book group appointments through the online portal. So I don't have time to run in that today, but essentially you would just be creating the group appointment times and then they can be available through the client portal, which is our online booking system. Anyway, that is all I have time for today. Thank you so much for your time. If you do want to learn more, we have plenty of tutorials that you can dig into, and we even have the Zanda Academy, where if you want more of a learning environment, almost like a course, where you can learn all the ins and outs of using the system, I'd highly recommend going and signing up for that. But as I said, that's all I can go over today, so bye for now.